Chairman, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you again for sparing us this time in your busy schedule. It's never a dull year, is there, with City? Never a dull season. And probably the only place we can start is Pep Guardiola. We've said goodbye to him now. What's the overriding feeling of his tenure and his departure?
For us to have a manager stay for 10 years, particularly in the modern game, in modern football, that's exceptional. That is absolutely exceptional. It's exceptional for the club, exceptional for, obviously, everybody associated with the team, the players, the entire organization, and of course, exceptional for the manager himself to maintain that level of commitment. So I think when I look back, it was a period that I think all City fans will always cherish and remember with joy and tremendous memories.
I mean, it's fair to say, isn't it, that he's become a friend as well as a manager and an employee.
Absolutely.
Can you give us an insight into your personal connection that you can talk about freely?
Yes, I think I will say that. I mean, he's more than just the manager of the club to me. He's a friend. I mean, we are close friends. We've, over these years, become close friends. And I will say that, I don't know if he'll admit it, but I consider myself his psychiatrist. Okay? So I had to help him over the years. Not in the good times. The good times is easy. It's always the challenging part. And inevitably, over these last 10 years, we've had a lot of ups and some downs. And in the downs, he must have quit 100 times over these 10 years, just so you know, just for the record. There's the story, as you all know, the boy that cries wolf. In the case of Pep, I mean, when he says I quit, doesn't mean he's quitting. It doesn't mean you don't take it that serious. You have to manage him. He never thought he would stay more than 4 years, then more than 5 years. So in his mind, even year 4 or 5, it was always, okay, how much more time? How much more time? And you know, it had to be done in the correct way. And I would say I always had a very clear understanding with Pep because of that analogy of the boy that cried wolf. Whenever he quits or whenever he thinks it's time, I will always convince him to come back until the time where I know it's actually the real time, where it's actually the real moment that Pep decides actually it's time. There's the moments that are not real, and he actually needs someone to bring him back. And there was always going to be one moment where it was going to be real.
And we reached that.
We reached that.
And
I knew it, and that's why I didn't fight it. Throughout these years, I've always fought it, and I always brought him back because I knew that was always the answer. But in this particular one, I think he knew, and I knew that he knew, and that's why it was the right thing for him, and it was the natural thing. And I will tell you, I did not fight this at all because I knew. I knew this was the time he actually meant it. And I would say, yeah, I mean.
And we can say from your answer that he exceeded expectations, your expectations, Sheikh Mansour's expectations. But what was his legacy to English football?
He changed English football. I say that with the utmost humility, but I believe that. You look at the way the league has evolved, the teams have evolved here in the Premier League over these 10 years. The way football is played in this league from 10 years ago to today, in my view, it's unquestionable. His influence over the game, his influence over football is being played, his influence on the tactics, his influence on the coaching. I mean, it's, for me, unquestionable. He has left his thumbprint over this league, and I say it with humility, but also I think many, I'm sure, pundits and experts in the game will probably agree with that. Very few managers will come in football and change not just a team, but an entire league, or influence a change in an entire league. Very few. And Pep has done that here. There's no question about that in my mind.
He got the perfect send-off after the game against Aston Villa. You know, getting 60,000 people to stay behind to acknowledge a manager is leaving is, and it was some kind of emotional evening.
It was very emotional, and he deserves that. But we have great fans. We have unbelievable fans. And to open that stand for the first time, to have the highest capacity ever at the Etihad, and to have, it all, you know, sometimes in life things just work out. And they work out. Did we plan that Pep would leave this summer? Did we plan that the North Stand was going to finish and be opened for the last game of the season? That happened to be his last game, and that North Stand would be named after Pep on that day? I mean, come on. I can tell you everything was perfectly planned 2 years ago. But sometimes in life these things just all kind of land in the right place. And that happens when you are genuine and when you're, I think, your heart in the right place, and sometimes everything just falls into place. I think it all fell into place in the right time, and it was I think beautiful, because you had the stand, and it's a phenomenal stand, gorgeous, and it's perfect. It's actually, you know, for that game, for that time, for him, and for that particular stand to be named the Pep Guardiola stand, and have his spirit stay here with us always, and to have 61,000 people there, happy and with appreciation, sad of course, but also happy. I think it was beautiful, really beautiful. I'm so happy the way it played out.
Well, let's get straight into that, because I've hired 3 managers, all of them won the Premier League,
Yeah.
which instantly puts pressure on the next man in. But there will be City fans sitting at home now, concerned that the club's peaked, that there's only one direction it could possibly go after 20 trophies in 10 years. What would your message to those people be today?
We are far from peaked. 18 years, I look at where the club was in 2008, and then I look at every part of these last 18 years. You know, Roberto Mancini brought that first Premier League title to this club. We will never forget those moments. It was a great period then. First, FA Cup in many, many years. And then Manuel came in, same thing, another Premier League title, and more success. And then Pep came in. And it was getting that mindset, that DNA of a winning club. And now this club is the way we all know it right now. We are used to, because it's in our DNA, winning. This is a club that is designed, built to win. And what Pep has given us has taken us to the next level. And I think we are so thankful for what he's helped build here.
Can't take that for granted.
No, of course not. Winning is hard. It's not easy. It's a lot of hard work. And it's a lot of hard work by a collective. Look at, over these 18 years, how many different generations of teams that we have been collectively putting together. Each one special. From that first group of the Agueros and the Yaya Toures and the Silvas, to the next group of the Kevin De Bruynes and the Ilkay Gundogans and the Bernardos, to this group of the Erling Haalands and the Cherkis and the Fodens and the Kuzanovs, and we continue. And in every aspect we get, it's different because it's different players, but the success will come because I think we do a very good job in maintaining a winning mindset. And hence, when you look at our records in English football over these last 18 years, I believe Manchester City is the most successful club in this country. I think top down, Sheikh Mansour, myself, Ferran, and then the whole organization. We have a team, and that team is a winning team, and that team will continue. And there will be players, and there will be coaches, and there'll be executives. It's part of life. but we will keep going, and we will continue to deliver.
So we've waved goodbye to Pep, Chairman. The question on everyone's lips, who's next?
I think what I can say at the moment is we've gone through a very thoughtful and structured process, and the team is convinced, and I am convinced, rest assured, that we'll bring in the right manager for this club. Just be patient with us. Very soon we'll announce it, and you will be very comfortable that we have selected and brought in the best manager possible for this club.
You talk about the team, and he'll be defending 2 domestic trophies, which we can see behind you. The season was labelled one of transition. Has it been a successful season?
Yes.
And was it a season of transition?
I think it's both. I think it was a successful season. I think any season where you finish with 2 cups, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, where you finish second and where you've really had a really good chance to win the title. I mean, until 1 week, we were within shooting distance of winning the Premier League. So to finish second and this close, and with 2 cups, and I think, you know, in the Champions League, of course, you know, okay, losing against Madrid, I think is not something we consider a success, but it is a successful season. There's no question in my mind, but it's also a transitioning season, and you see it if you look at the players from 3 years ago in terms of a squad, and you look at the squad today, the amount of work that has been done to reconstruct this group, this team for the future, in at least 4 windows, is to be seen right now. It's pretty much almost a new team, and that requires time. Once you change the nucleus of the team, which is what's happened over these last couple of windows, naturally, and we did it naturally, but also very thoughtfully, you will have time before the team gels and really the chemistry kicks in. That nucleus really started hitting its stride by, you know, February, as these players obviously mature and grow better as a team, and then obviously with the additions we're going to make this summer. So I'm very confident. I think next year we're going to come back very strong, and we will make sure we're going to be in an even stronger position for next season.
Well, we could come to the summer in a minute, Chairman, if we might. Can I just take you back to last summer, and you told us one player who was going to be amazingly exciting, but you didn't name him. I assume that was Ryan Cherky. What sort of impact has he had, and how are you looking forward to seeing him develop?
So we had a high conviction that Ryan had the potential to be quite a special player. And I remind you, he's still a young man. But as this team grows, and you look at the team today, beyond Ryan, it's you know, with the strong talent, you know, from top to bottom, from, you know, Erling, Rodri, Semenyo, Jeremy Doku, who's been phenomenal this season, Kuzanov, extraordinary, Nick O'Reilly, Donnarumma. I mean, we are in every position. We have very talented young players, and then we have with the depth of experience of players like Rodri, as an example. I mean, we really have quite a team.
And talking of young and talented, perfectly describes Nico. He's off to the World Cup this summer. How proud are you of him and of the academy, and the way he's progressed in the last 12 to 18 months?
Very proud, very proud. He's a product of our academy. He's a young man that went through the multiple age groups within the club, and look at him now. Particularly this year, when you look at that, every player I think has that crossover year, where they make that move from being a young player to a man, and really make that big transition. Incredible talent. We're very happy, and it just shows how we keep developing great talent from this academy.
Someone else who's quietly become more influential, I think, in the dressing room and around the club is Erling, who came as a very young man.
Yeah.
He's just won another golden boot. He's got lots of golden boots now, but almost quietly won the golden boot. How influential is he now in the dressing room, and do you see him being a leader of this new City team?
I mean, to be fair with Erling, he was always a leader from the first day he stepped into this club. He comes in with such character and charisma, and of course, when you are a superstar, when you are a goal-scoring machine like he is, inevitably you're a leader. And he's got that personality. Lucky for him that when he came in also under in a group with a lot of leaders, from Ilkay to Bernardo to Rodri to Ruben. So many great leaders that we had that he was with. So he got to experience also playing with incredible characters and high IQ football players. And now you can see it this year, last year particularly, by the way, last season and this past season, he's really stepping up into an important role. I consider him the best striker in the world. I consider him a Ballon d'Or winner, hopefully soon. And I consider him someone that has the mindset, that winning mindset, that is the essence of this team, of this club. This young man is a winner.
And you mentioned he came into a dressing room full of high footballing IQ, of experience, of good people. Two of those have left, John Stones and Bernardo Silva. So we take them one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Your memories of Bernardo, your best points of his career, the sort of person he was, how important was he to the whole success?
What a personality, versatile, workmanship, grit. I think when I think of Bernardo, I think of grit always, and then you look at it. He is, in terms of appearances, in terms of titles, in terms of I think he's up there in everything, top one or top two in almost so many different categories in the history of this club. So he will go down as a legend, and I think we appreciate everything he's done. And the beauty of the Bernardo story, like many other stories, is he came at the right time and then left at a time that was natural, that was the right thing for him, and we supported him all the way. And he's always going to be part of this family. I have amazing memories. One particular memory I'll never forget is that semi-final against Madrid, and his two goals in that first half. But he had so many performances like that, where he carried the team and he played, as you know. I think we joked around that the one position he hasn't played was goalkeeper. Does Pep have the courage to actually play him as a goalkeeper maybe for 5 minutes, just to make sure he's played every single position on the ground?
Tick that box. Well, another significant long-term contributor to this era of success, obviously, is John Stones, one of the first players Pep wanted. Again, what are your memories of John?
John, and in these early years, just evolved so fast and became, in my opinion, for a long period of time, one of the best, if not the best, center half in the world. And I think there are moments. You look at that famous Liverpool clearance. I remember it was 3rd of January, and because it was right after the New Year's, and we needed to win that game, and that clearance ultimately won us the title. Early January, imagine, because we had to win every single game since after that. That's a moment that is etched, I think, in every City fan memory. But also, I think what is going to be for sure unforgettable is the pinnacle, which was the Champions League final. On that day, he was the best player in the world. John epitomized, I think, that fighting workmanship also, that Mancunian spirit. And that's why the fans love him. The fans adore him because he's truly one of them. He is everything this city represents in terms of heart, in terms of workmanship, in terms of spirit, is represented in John. And he's given us 10 wonderful years, and we're grateful for that.
So looking ahead, is Hugo going to be busy this summer, and will his work be complicated by the fact there's a World Cup?
No, I don't think it makes it more or less complicated. I think it's part of the game, it's part of the business. We know how to deal with it. Hugo knows how to deal with it. We know what we want. We know what we need, and we know how to go about it. Don't forget that in January we made 2 very important signings. Very important signings. Big credit to Hugo in being able to identify the needs, and then move on 2 top talents, Marc Guéhi and Antoine Semenyo. Really top. So we're very happy with them joining in January. These 2 would have been 2 typical summer moves, given the size of the transfer fees and the importance of the players. And as we've always shown, And I think this is important always to note. This club, you know, we are organized, we are thoughtful, and sometimes when we need to be decisive and preemptive, we will do that. And that's exactly what we did in these two cases. And I think in this summer, we know exactly what we want to do, we know exactly who we're targeting, and I promise you, as always, we'll go about our business and be as efficient, as swift as possible.